Well, the third chapter of the NBA Finals is fast approaching, and it's time to dive deeper into the keys to winning for both the Heat and the Nuggets. Joining us to break down the game in the upcoming Game 3 is NBA Hype host Mikey Reyes and Meralco Bolt star Aaron Black. And ito yung pinaka-formal na makikita natin, si Mikey Reyes.
Nagtanggal pa ako ng coat para hindi niyo isipin na host din ako, guys.
Alright, we are entering Game 3 territory. Naisip niyo bang Game 2 would be in favor of the Heat?
Honestly, I picked
First
the
of
Heat
all.
for a long time.
Yeah, you picked the Heat forever.
I picked the. I don't like the fact that Denver beat my Lakers, so I'm picking the Heat. But yeah, it was a great game. I think we're gonna be treated to a great series moving forward.
Go.
I've always been a Jimmy fan. Everybody knows that. And even though he hasn't exploded like the way he did in the semis and in the finals of the Eastern Conference, I just like how all he wants is to win. Like, he's not trying to win Finals MVP. He's giving the ball up to like Gabe Vincent and all those guys who have been stepping up. So I think that culture of the Miami Heat gave them that win in Game 2.
111-108, Miami beating the Denver Nuggets. The interesting stat line para kay Nikola Jokic kasi 41 points siya but then only 4 assists. So a lot of people are saying, hey, was he just limited to being a scorer and not the triple-double machine that we're so used to seeing? Mikey, that was actually leads into one of your points here to the keys of winning for the Denver Nuggets. Now, it can't just be Nikola Jokic scoring here for Denver.
Oh, definitely, because we know that the biggest asset of Nikola Jokic, just like LeBron, is his passing. It's not his scoring, it's not his rebounding. He does all those things very well, but it's his passing that makes him a generational athlete or a generational big man. So I like what Eric Spoelstra said, that they're not trying to make him a scorer or even a passer. He's a great player, so they're just playing the way they need to play him. But also, his teammates need to make shots. It takes two to have an assist. It's not something that Nikola can do. He's always going to get the basketball to the open guy, to the guy who has the best shot possible. But if he doesn't make it, he doesn't make it. So.
Well, that's Mikey's key. How about you, Aaron? What's the key for Nuggets to maybe get Game 3?
I think Jamal Murray has to really get going. He had 18 and 10. That's a good game for most, but he's a star. He's been killing everybody in every series. So he's got to come out. I know it's a tougher time with Jimmy Butler, but the Nuggets are gonna have to find a way to get Jimmy Butler off of him so that he can attack the lesser defenders of the Heat.
A lot of people are going to be focused on Nikola Jokic, and rightly so when you're looking at the Denver Nuggets. But when you take a look at Jamal Murray, is he actually the bellwether for you? For the Denver Nuggets, whether or not they win, if he has a game where he's impactful, not necessarily the highest scorer, if he's the most impactful or at least one of the most impactful players for the Denver Nuggets, do you think that Denver will always have that win in the bag?
Yeah, I think he's the barometer actually for this finals for Denver. I think they'll go as far as he goes. No disrespect to Jokic, everybody knows he's the MVP, but with Murray, he's their closer. He's the guy who gets the ball in the last few seconds of the game. He's the guy they go to on that pick and roll with Jokic. So if he's aggressive, if he gets his game going, that's when the others open up as well.
Mikey, did you want to add anything that the whole team needs to do in order to secure Game 3?
It's really to help out Nikola Jokic. And you talked about Jamal Murray. I think in a final series like this, the first guy or the main guy will always produce because he's going to get the minutes, he's going to get the touches. That's Nikola Jokic. The second, third, fourth guy, those guys need to step up. And when they're struggling, maybe the fifth, sixth, seventh guy can step up because in a final series like this, you can't expect na yung as consistent because, the scouting reports, the tendencies, basang-basa na lahat. This is like the most detailed series the whole season because it's the finals. Everybody's looking and watching this. So, you have to be able to go at least maybe 7-8 deep.
And you have two teams here who love to execute. And that made me think, okay, the Miami Heat going into a series with the Denver Nuggets, siguro kawawa yung zone defense nila. But that has not necessarily been the case. They're using it in spots. And Mikey, you actually brought that up here in terms of trying to beat the zone. And how do they do that? How do they try and find a way to take advantage of what has been one of the calling cards of the Miami Heat in terms of playoff defense?
Nanggulat Yung pagka-Pinoy ni Eric Spoelstra,
Lumabas,
biglang
no?
nagsone. Isona niya yan. But I was watching Draymond Green's podcast and he was talking about that zone. He was saying that Nikola Jokic is actually the toughest guy to defend in terms of a zone,
Yeah.
other than Steph Curry, of course. But with Nikola Jokic, he just knows what to do. He gets the ball pinch post or in the middle, he can square up, he can hit that floater, kick it out to his shooters. But then again, the shooters need to make shots. Because if the shooters make shots, hindi na sobrang ika-clog yung lane, and then Nikola Jokic can operate down low. So, Nikola Jokic is obviously the focal point, but everybody needs to help out.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on over to the Miami Heat. Aaron, now you told us earlier that the Heat needs to start Kevin Love. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, actually,
That's
all right.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
started
Okay.
him, which allowed Jimmy Butler to play Jamal Murray.
Right.
There's a stat, I think Jimmy Butler played Jamal Murray in only 4 possessions in Game 1 and 35 possessions in Game 2. So that was a big deal for, a bigger guy, a guy that's really physical, somebody who can wear Jamal Murray down to the end game. So, that's going to be big for them. And Kevin Love gave them a little bit of a boost. You can put him on Jokic because he's heavy enough, and you can have Bam come and help. So a little bit of a different look for Jokic. He still had 41, but I guess they're trying to take away his assists, so it worked.
It worked, yeah.
For some reason, Kevin Love, when he gets into the playoffs, he's always in the finals. So let's see what happens there. Let's take a look at. Well, he is always in the finals, so that doesn't mean he always wins. But let's take a look at that matchup in particular, especially for you, Mikey, kasi sanabi mo dito, key players are Jamal Murray and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray almost the entirety of that Game 2. Game 3, how do you see that matchup going, and what do you feel will be the biggest difference makers?
I think the Heat will stick to it. I think the Heat will stick to putting Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray. Obviously, it worked. It's really the question of how will the Nuggets adjust to that? How will Jamal Murray adjust to having Jimmy Butler on him for 48 minutes if that's how long they're going to play? For Jamal Murray, again, you just have to just keep on keeping on. Be aggressive. This is, I believe, his first finals appearance?
yeah.
His first finals appearance.
Denver's first.
Denver's
Yeah.
first. So, parang for me, you just can't back down now. You would lose shooting and being aggressive rather than be passive because everybody's looking at you to deliver.
Now, Aaron, you told us Duncan Robinson and KCP. What exactly do we need to watch out for from these two guys?
Well, for KCP, he only took 4 attempts in 36 minutes. So that's going to be big. He's their best shooter. I think he is their best shooter. So he's going to be big to space the floor for them. If he can make a couple of shots, that will open it up for Jokic, will open it up for Murray. And on the other side, Duncan Robinson, he's the third guy right now. There's no Tyler Hero. Kyle Lowry's not, he's a little bit older now. So I feel like if Duncan Robinson can be consistent moving forward, he not only will help them win a championship, he'll make his money because I was looking at his contract and it has a lot to do with what he does in the playoffs. So it'll be good for him. So
Yeah, that guy doing the math, I'm sure, has to think
definitely.
about that. But right now we have time for one more question. And you mentioned Tyler Hero. Reports are saying that he could be returning for the Miami Heat very soon. What do you do though? Do you play the guy after being out for 7 weeks? Remember, he was the leading scorer of the Heat prior to being injured. Aaron, where are you at?
I don't know. Maybe I put him in for 10 minutes. See how it goes. Maybe if I can get an early lead, I can put him in the game for a little bit, see how he's feeling, see how the flow's going. If it goes well, then you keep him in. If it doesn't, you take him out.
Mikey?
He's not the type that you plug and play. So like what he said, you put him in, make him the focal point, maybe for a few minutes, see what he can do. But definitely he's going to change the whole dynamic of the offense when he comes in.
But you'd still play him.
You'd
I
still
think
play him.
that's
You gotta try it out
Yeah,
at
you
least.
gotta try it. You
Try it
gotta try
Well,
it.
we'll see what happens in Game 3.